Hello students, welcome at KLA, Kiran Learners Academy. Today we shall discuss one of the most important issue for prelims 2018 is that arms control treaties. Now if we analyze of question paper of last 3 to 4 years, we see there are a substantial number of questions from this issue. Okay, every year they ask question from this kind of issues and this kind of treaties which are in the news for a reason or the other. Okay, so we'd see the various arms. We have compiled all those important treaties, arms controls treaties under this video, and I think this video is very important. Okay, and it would also, even if you are familiar with these issues, it would help you to revise the issues. Okay, so first of all, why it is in the news? So recently, India has been admitted in the 42 member groups of Wassenaar Arrangement. Okay, India became its 42nd member. In December 2017, India was admitted in the group, and it is hailed as India's one of the biggest achievement as far as global diplomacy is concerned. And it is also said that it will strengthen India's non-proliferation credential and broaden its access to sensitive technologies. Okay, so because of this reason, Wassenaar Arrangement, India's admission into the Wassenaar Arrangement, due to this news, this arms treaties topic becomes extremely important. Okay, so now we move ahead. We would see what are the important issues involved in this Wassenaar Arrangement. Along with this, we would also see the various other agreements, various other treaties, and important provisions of those treaties, and we'd see the important aspect of those treaties, of those provisions. Okay, to what extent they are relevant to our examination needs. Okay, first of all, we summarize what are those important treaties that we will be studying in this video. So there are mainly 6 treaties which are important from examination point of views. They are not technical, they are general, and I think every civil service aspirant who are preparing for UPSC civil services must know about these global treaties. Okay, first is the Wassenaar Arrangement. Okay, second is Australia Group, Missile Technology Control Regime, which is also known as the MTCR. Third is the Biological Weapon Convention, BWC. Non-Proliferation Treaty. It is about non-proliferation of nuclear technology. Okay, which is also very much important, not only for prelims but mains as well. Okay, we'd see various issues involved in NPT as well. And then there is Chemical Weapon Convention, CWC. Okay, and there is START, and also it is now expired and it is now New START Treaty. So in this video, we'd see the various issues involved in these arm control treaties. And let me tell you that this video is extremely important, because one or two questions you can surely expect from this topic. Okay, so first of all, the topic because of which these treaties are in the news, that is the Wassenaar Arrangement. So first of all, what is Wassenaar Arrangement? Wassenaar Arrangement's full name or formal name is Wassenaar Arrangement on Export Controls for Convenient Arms and Dual-Use Goods and Technologies. That means it is its formal name, okay, but it is globally known as the Wassenaar Arrangement. What it does, it regulates the export of sensitive technologies that could possibly lead to destabilizing accumulation. So certainly it is not only limited to the conventional weapons, but it is also seeks to control the export of goods and technologies, dual use of goods and technology, which could be used to destabilize accumulation. Okay, so this treaty does not define, but its definition of arms and sensitive technologies is such that it incorporates a large range of goods and technology which could be used to destabilize any region. Okay, so it was founded in 1996. Okay, and recently, as we discussed, that recently in December 2017, India became its 42nd member, the latest member in this group. So now this group is it has 42 member countries. Okay, now this arrangement has become an important component of, as we see, because of its definition is so huge that it almost virtually control the export of every such sensitive technology that could possibly be used by terrorist organization or a country against the other, about those technology which could destabilize region. Okay, so it is obviously a kind of organic treaty which would incorporate any future such technologies. Okay, but So who are these admitted countries and who could be? To answer this question, we must know that to be admitted in the arrangement, state must meet certain criteria, including acquisition to a range of global non-proliferation treaties, including NPT. Okay, that means a new country to be admitted in this group must have signed or exceeded various non-proliferation treaty, including non-proliferation treaty on nuclear technology, that is also known as the NPT. Okay, but as we all know that India is not a signatory of NPT, then this question arises: why India was admitted? Why so flexibility for India? Obviously, India has, despite it has not signed NPT, which is one of the major requirements of being admitted in this Wassenaar Arrangement group. Okay, but India has a long history of very strong credential on non-proliferation. India has not ever breached about its commitment to non-proliferation of arms and such sensitive technologies. And in addition, on top of that, United States, which has been a vocal supporter in support of India to be admission in these arms control treaties, has supported, and because of this, India has got huge support base in the international community. And because of US and a huge, a very rich history of non-proliferation technologies, India has been admitted in this group. And India was given this flexibility of not being a signatory party nuclear non-proliferation treaty, and despite this, India was admitted in the group. So regarding Wassenaar Arrangement, what are focus areas? First is that it does not define or it does not confine the definition of arms. Okay, instead it is an organic treaty which incorporate a large range of arms and technologies which could be used to destabilize particular region. Okay, the second important fact is that it was founded in 1996. Okay, and India has recently been admitted as its member country. It's the 42nd. So as of now, it has 42 member countries. 42 member countries. Okay, so these are the important aspect and important information that you should know about Wassenaar Arrangement. And I think questions, if you know these things, questions in preliminary exam should be very much limited to this information only. Okay, when it was founded, whether India is a party or not, and how it defines the arms control export regime. Now the second important arms treaty is the Missile Technology Control Regime. Okay, MTCR. It is also known as the MTCR. Okay, now this regime is a multilateral export control regime. That means countries came together and they decided that they would control the export of the missile technology. Okay, and it was named as MTCR, that is Missile Technology Control Regime. Okay, it is an informal and voluntary partnership. That means you do not have any commitment. Okay, it's a voluntary completely whether you want to be part of this or not. Okay, among 35 countries to prevent the proliferation of missile and unmanned aerial vehicle technology. Okay, that is the missile and the unmanned, that is also called as UAV. Okay, unmanned aerial vehicle. Okay, capable of carrying above 500 kg payload or more than 300 km. So all those missile technologies and UAV which have this capacity of carrying above 500 kg and payload for more than 300 km, okay, these are prohibited, or their export to another country is controlled through this MTCR. Okay, it has as of now 35 active member countries. India had formally applied for membership of this group in June 2015 with active support from France and United States, and officially became a member in 2016 with the consensus of the 34 member nations. So MTCR has 35 member countries, and this treaty aims to control the export of missile technologies and the unmanned aerial vehicle technologies which are capable of carrying above 500 kg payload for more than 300 km. Okay, this is the condition. This is the condition. India has recently been admitted into this group as well. Like Wassenaar Arrangement was admitted in 2017 December, while in June 2016 India was admitted in Missile Technology Control Regime. Okay, so these are important information one should remember. as far as prelims is concerned. Now the third is Australia Group. Australia Group. Like Wassenaar Arrangement and MTCR, Missile Technology Control Regime, Australia Group is also one of the arms control treaties, one of the most important arms control treaties. Okay, this group is a multilateral export control regime and an informal. It is also informal. Okay, there is no like formal meetings and anything. They have signed, they gather together informally and they discuss things, and there are a lot of flexibility mechanism in this group as well. So obviously it's a kind of multilateral, voluntary and informal association where nations get together and decide and contemplate upon things that needs to be put in place. So it was established in 1985, just immediately after the Iraq war in 1984. Use of chemical weapons. Obviously we know that in 1984 Iraq had used chemical weapons. After that it was proposed by Australia that we should form an informal group which would control the export of spread of chemical and biological. Remember this does not only control on export, this control the spread of chemical and biological weapons, chemical as well as biological weapons. So if any statement says that Australia Group is a chemical convention, is only chemical convention, that must be wrong, because it aims to prevent the spread of chemical as well as biological weapons. So this is very important. Okay, pay attention here. This could be asked. UPSC could manipulate you here, that Australia Group, and you could be like, okay, this I had read somewhere. So pay attention to this here, that Australia Group is an informal kind of association of countries to control the spread of chemical as well as biological weapons. Both kind of weapons it aims to control the spread of. Okay, now it was established in 1985, just after the war in which Iraq had used chemical weapons in 1984. Okay, since it was the idea was propounded by Australia, the initiative was taken by Australia, it is known as the Australia Group, and that is the reason behind its name. Okay, the group initially consists of 15 members. Initially when it was formed or it was proposed, it had only 15 members. Now it has 43 members. 43 members. Okay, so this is also very important fact you should know. Okay, initially it was 15. It had 15 countries as member countries. Now it had 43. As we know that the name comes from Australia's initiative. The members of the group maintain export control of uniform list of 54 compound. 54. It aims to control the spread of 54 compound, including several that are not prohibited for export under the Chemical Weapons Convention. We'd also know about Chemical Weapon Convention in further part of this video. Okay, so sum up it maintains a list of 54 compounds that this treaty aims to control the spread of. Okay, so essentially there are some chemicals which are even not controlled or which are not even banned again in the Chemical Weapon Convention, but still this treaty try to control the spread of those chemicals also. Okay, so now this is very comprehensive even as compared to the Chemical Weapon Convention. So India became 43rd member country of Australia Group. So India has become latest member of the Wassenaar Arrangement. Okay, India has become the latest member country of the MTCR, and India has become the latest country of the Australia Group as well. Okay, so you should remember this interesting fact that India is the latest country in the Wassenaar Arrangement, India is the latest country in the MTCR to join, and India is the latest country in the Australia Group as well. So India has become the latest country to join all these three treaties, okay, arms controls treaties. So these are the important information regarding the Australia Group. We move forward. What is the Non-Proliferation Treaty? Okay, Non-Proliferation Treaty is mainly concerned with the control of a spread of mainly nuclear technologies. Okay, so it is entirely a different topic because NPT is itself, it's so exhaustive that there are so many things to know about. So we can make a different video over that. It is not possible and we would not do justice if we incorporate Non-Proliferation Treaty in this video itself, because there are a lot of information, lot of dimension, lot of aspects related to this NPT which could be discussed and which are important to know from examination point of view. But still we would get some of the fundamental aspects of this NPT obviously. Okay, so let's see what are those fundamental information. First is that the objective of the NPT is to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and nuclear weapons technology. Okay, as I told that it aims to control the spread of nuclear weapons technology. Okay, and to promote cooperation in the peaceful uses of nuclear energy. So it obviously talks about the disarmament of nuclear weapons. The treaty was entered into force in 1970. It is important to remember that. And as of now, 191 states have adhered to the treaty. Okay, the important exception in North Korea, because we have seen recently that North Korea was much in the news because of its constant threatening to the United States of nuclear attack. So obviously this is very important to know that where North Korea stands in nuclear non-proliferation treaty. North Korea, which acceded in 1985, it had acceded the treaty. It is not that North Korea has never accepted the treaty. That is very wrong. North Korea had acceded to treaty in 1985 but never came into compliance. Okay, announced its withdrawal from the NPT in 2003. And after that, North Korea had conducted its nuclear test. So it is very important to consider when North Korea is so much in the news that North Korea had acceded the treaty in 1985, but soon after it never was in the compliance of the treaty, and soon after in 2003 they had formally abandoned the treaty. They had formally exited from the treaty, and following this they had conducted nuclear test. Okay, so it is very important information. Okay, you should keep this very important piece of information and should see the questions. This is very important information. Okay. Now, for union, who are the countries which are not member of the or who have not signed the NPT? So this is very interesting and very interesting development in NPT. Like there are 4 countries who have never acceded to the non-proliferation treaty. These 4 countries are very prominent and they have significant economy and they have significant strategic and global power. They are significant strategic and global powers. So let's see who are those countries. There are 4 countries which are, and out of 4, 3 are nuclear countries. That means they have the nuclear weapons, declared nuclear weapons. Okay, so these 4 countries are India, Israel, Pakistan and South Sudan. Okay, so India, Israel and Pakistan, all 3 are nuclear countries. Okay, they are nuclear countries. They possess nuclear weapons. Okay, while South Sudan does not have nuclear weapons, but it has not joined nuclear non-proliferation treaty. So it is very important also. Okay. So this treaty has 4 main critical pillars, is that non-proliferation, disarmament and the right to peacefully use nuclear technology. So these 3 critical pillars it has. As I told at the very beginning of this topic, is that non-proliferation treaty on nuclear energy, that is NPT, is very exhaustive topic. There are a lot of points, a lot of arguments, counter arguments in favor of why should India join, why should not. And there are a lot of things which we should know from in this topic. But still, since we have this time constraint, we will discuss this issue in a different video. Now we move ahead, and Chemical Weapon Convention, CWC. If you remember, we had talked about Australia group, okay, which seeks to control the spread of chemicals and as well as biological weapon. It had it maintained a uniform list of up to 54 items which could be used in chemical weapons or part of chemical weapons. So now we have already a dedicated convention on chemical weapons, that is known as the Chemical Weapon Convention, CWC. The Chemical Weapon Convention is an arms control treaty that outlaws the production, stockpiling and use of chemical weapons and their precursors. Okay, it is administered by the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, that is OPCW. OPCW is an organization that administers this Chemical Weapon Convention, and parties which are part of this Chemical Weapon Convention are automatically party to this Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons as well. If you remember, in 2013, when OPCW had played a very constructive role in Syria, in alleged Syria use of chemical weapons by Syrian government, then OPCW was awarded Nobel Peace Prize in 2013. So because of that, OPCW was very much in the news back then, and there was question in 2014 PT as well, prelims as well, on OPCW. So obviously it is very important convention, and it is very important organization as well. So OPCW manages and administers this convention. It also mandated with the task to take the verification and essential checkings under this convention. Okay, as of now, 192 states have given their consent to bound by the CWC. So Israel has signed but not ratified the agreement. Okay, while 3 other UN members, Egypt, North Korea and South Sudan. So North Korea is neither part of NPT nor Chemical Weapon Convention. Okay, there is a separate diplomatic argument against this. We could discuss in another video perhaps. Okay, but now at this moment it is important to know that Israel, North Korea, Egypt and South Sudan are out of purview from this Chemical Weapon Convention. India is a signatory party, as well as India has ratified this party as this convention as well. Okay, so India is a signatory party. It is important here to know that some chemicals which have been used extensively in warfare but have numerous large-scale industrial use, such as phosgen, are highly regulated. Okay, and however, certain notable exceptions exist, like chlorine gas. Chlorine gas, for example, is highly toxic, but being a pure element and extremely widely used for peaceful purpose, is not officially listed as chemical weapons. So obviously, some of chemicals which are industrial, which are very beneficial for industrial purpose, are banned by this or prevented by this Chemical Weapon Convention. One of the example of this, phosgen. Okay. On the other hand, some exceptions also exist. There's like chlorine gas, which are highly toxic gas, which could be used as part of chemical weapons, but still this convention does not debar industry from using chlorine gas. Okay. So it is important to understand phosgen. Now we move ahead. Now, what is START 1? Okay, START 1 is simply an acronym of Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. Now, it is not an international kind of intergovernmental kind of treaty where multi-countries are member of it. Instead, it's a bilateral treaty between the United States of America and the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republics on the reduction and elimination of strategic offensive arms. If you remember, back in Cold War, there used to be a continuous arms race between United States and the USSR, Soviet Russia, United Soviet Socialist Republics, and it resulted a huge stockpile of arms, which were posing constant threat to the global peace and harmony. So to limit or to reduce this stockpile of arms, what they did, they signed this START treaty, that is Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. And according to provisions of this treaty, they have been reducing their stockpile of their arms in a phased manner. Okay, now START negotiated the largest and most complex arms control treaty in history, and its final implementation in late 2001 resulted in the removal of 80% of all strategic nuclear weapons their existence. So we could see the kind of unprecedented nuclear stockpile, which was made predominantly result of the arms race between both countries. Okay. Now, START 1 treaty expired on 5 December 2009, okay, and it was replaced by new START treaty. Always remember that START 1 treaty is expired in 2009, and it was replaced by the new START treaty that was signed in Paraguay by United States President Barack Obama and Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. So, START 1 is now expired in 2009 and it is replaced by new START treaty. Okay, following ratification by the US State and the Federal Assembly of it went into force in 26 January 2011. And now the treaty that mandates both countries to reduce their nuclear stockpile is new START treaty. It came into force in 2011. It is very important to know that. Now the last is that Biological Weapon Convention. So we had talked about Australia group, which had aimed to control the spread of chemical as well as biological weapons. So biological weapons are any weapons which are which use biological means to cause harm and to spread violence, to cause harm to livestock and human lives as well. So Biological Weapon Convention was submitted by the British and entered into force in 1975. It was proposed by the Great Britain or UK. Okay. And 22 governments had deposited their instrument of ratification. It commits the 180, as of now it had 180 state countries which are party to it as of January 2018, to prohibit the development, production, stockpiling and biological and toxic weapons. It has no formal verification like the Chemical Weapon Convention, CWC, which had organization, OPCW, Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, an enforcing body. It has no formal verification regime to monitor the compliance. That means it has no enforcing body like OPCW to administer this convention. Okay, as of now it has 180 state party including India. India is also party to Biological Weapon Convention. So all these conventions that now we discuss is the NPT is the only arms control treaty to which India is not a party country, and India has not signed. Why India has not signed? We'll discuss these issues in a different video because it's a much exhaustive video and we need to discuss many more angles. So these were the important treaties, arms control treaties that we saw, and I hope that you sincerely like this video and it helped you to revise and to know many more interesting things. Thank you.